Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we are making a bread pudding. Light and airy with a homemade sauce that elevates the bread pudding even further. This dessert is a must try. So let's get started. Alright, so to get this recipe started, we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. We're also going to spray a 9-inch by 13-inch baking pan with a non-stick cooking spray. Now we want to cut or rip apart one loaf of challah bread into roughly 1-inch size cubes. We're going to transfer these cubes into a baking sheet spread out into an even layer. We're not going to bake these challah bread pieces for 5 minutes. Your goal here is to dry out your bread. And if you want to skip this step, you can always use 1-day-old challah bread that's been removed from the packaging and allowed to stale somewhat. But for this recipe to work, you need to have dry challah bread pieces. So once they're done baking, you want to transfer the challah bread pieces into your prepared baking pan, spreading the pieces of challah into an even layer once more. Now separately in a large mixing bowl, we want to whisk together 5 large eggs, 4 cups of 2% milk with 1 cup of granulated white sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, as well as 2.5 tablespoons of dark rum. Whisking all these ingredients together until they're well combined. Once that's done, we want to transfer this mix into a large measuring cup for easy pouring. Here, we want to pour the mixture evenly over the bread in the prepared baking pan, ensuring that all the pieces are fully coated. We're now going to allow the mixture to soak into the bread for about 15 minutes. And while it's soaking, we want to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. And once the mix has soaked into the bread completely, we want to place the pan in the oven and bake it for 45 to 50 minutes or until the top has just set. And at this stage, you want to remove the bread pudding from the oven and allow it to cool. And while that's cooling, in a separate medium sauce pot, we want to melt a 1/3 cup of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of salted butter mixed with 1 cup of granulated white sugar. You can add in 1.5 tablespoons of dark rum as well. Stirring this together to create one delicious sauce over low heat or 225 degrees Fahrenheit or 107 degrees Celsius. Mixing until they're well combined. This should be kept to a low simmer as we don't want to crystallize the sugar. Now we're just about ready to serve, so you want to slice out 1 serving of your bread pudding. This recipe makes enough for 12, and then you want to garnish this with your favorite type of ice cream. I feel like vanilla ice cream pairs really beautifully with bread pudding, so I normally top mine with vanilla ice cream. And then you want to pour on some of the sauce over the bread pudding and the ice cream. And with that, it's ready to be served and enjoyed. And just like that, you've made bread pudding right at home. You can always try adding some chopped walnuts in the batter as well for some added texture and flavor. But this recipe, as you see, is really easy to make and creates one delicious dessert. So when you do try this at home, be sure to tag me at Chef Vic Cuisine or hashtag Chef Vic Cuisine so I can see your great takes on this dish. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 3, Upgrading Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make bread pudding. And if you did, make sure you smash that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to show support for this recipe. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Victor and welcome to Chef Vic Cuisine. It's my goal to create new recipes for you each and every week that you can make at home for yourself, your family, or your friends. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you click that subscribe button too. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will like it too, make sure you share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week where I show you the first recipe from my Volume 4 cookbook, my lemon poppy seed pancakes. A great way to start your mornings. Well, thank you all again so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed watching this recipe. And if you did, make sure you smash that like button for me. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button too to see more recipes just like this one. YouTube thinks you'll like this recipe, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.